In this video, we're going to discuss the term as is. Does it actually mean anything? If it does mean anything, then what exactly? And most importantly, how does it impact your search for a home? My name is Phil Wells. I'm a real estate agent helping clients in and around Spokane and in North Idaho too. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive into one of the most misunderstood terms in real estate. So let's get into it. So does writing as is on a listing actually mean anything? For those not familiar, the term as is implies that the seller will not make repairs. Essentially, what you see is what you get. The home is sold as is. The short answer is no. Writing something on a listing really doesn't have any bearing on the contract itself. What's in the contract is king. If it isn't in the contract, then it doesn't apply. To illustrate this point, we as real estate agents have a running joke that if you haven't bought a washer and dryer for your client, you haven't been in real estate long enough. This situation usually arises when on the listing they state that the washer dryer are excluded, but in the offer you write that they're included. What's on the contract applies regardless of which agent mistyped or which agent failed to double check the terms of an offer. Now, it is possible to actually write as is language into a contract. For example, you can write into a contract that the buyer will not ask for repairs. This might entice a seller to go with that offer in a competitive seller's market, for example. In that case, the term as is has effectively been incorporated into the contract, but failing that, writing as is on a listing really doesn't mean anything at all. So why do people include it, you might ask? Well, while it doesn't mean anything if it's not in the contract, it does spell out the seller's negotiating position up front. If you ask for repairs, they're gonna refuse it. They're just telling you that at the outset. And this might not always be the seller playing hardball. Sure, in a competitive seller's market, it might be the seller playing hardball. But maybe they don't have the disposable cash to put into repairs. Maybe all their cash is tied up in that home. Or maybe they're a handyman and can't bring themselves to pay anybody else to do what they could do. Believe me, I've actually run into this scenario. It does happen. Whatever their reason for listing as is, they are making their negotiating position clear. And while yes, there's nothing in the contract that excludes you asking for repairs, it might be a waste of time. You might be better asking for things like a seller credit or a reduction in the purchase price to account for things that you find during the inspection. So what does this mean for you as a buyer? Well, it certainly doesn't mean that the inspection is useless. I would always encourage you to get a thorough inspection so you fully understand what it is that you're actually buying. It also doesn't mean that you can't negotiate following a poor inspection. Like I said, you could ask for a seller credit or a reduction in the purchase price. Or you could alter other terms to make the contract more favorable to you. You may consider a slow closing, may consider a quick closing. Who knows, it could help you out. From my perspective as an agent, I always encourage people to do their own repairs anyway, because you want the issues to be fixed right. Language is open to interpretation and cash is not. The phrase replace downstairs toilet in an inspection response could mean anything. Replace it with what? A sink? Do you want the toilet to be working when it's replaced? Can it be a used toilet that you replace it with? That last part is gross, I understand, but it illustrates the point. Just ask for a couple of $100s and hire a plumber to replace the toilet properly when you move in. Trust me, it's the best way to do things. I hope what I just said illustrates that the term as is should not put you off entering into a contract where this is specified on a listing. In fact, in most cases, it's beneficial for you not to ask for repairs, but to ask for money instead and do the repairs yourself. There are limited circumstances though, where repairs will be required, for example by a VA appraiser. In most cases, a buyer that specifies as is will still make repairs in this circumstance, because it means closing the deal or not. So if you see the term as is on a listing, or your agent tells you that a property is sold as is, then now you have a better understanding of what it means and the implications for you as a buyer. While technically it means nothing, it does spell out a seller's negotiating position. That's it for this video. I hope you gained from this video. If you did, please tell YouTube by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. That really does help me out. Like I said, my name is Phil Wells. If you're looking at buying or selling in the Spokane area or in North Idaho too, then please reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or contact me on Facebook or Instagram, and I'd be honored to work with you. Until the next video, thank you for watching.